here you've been told to use Simpson's rule with 4 strips to evaluate the integral from 0 to pi 2d theta over 4th root of 5 minus 3 over 8 cos cube theta, correct, to 6 decimal places. So what is important is the number of strips. Strips are the parts, isn't it? Strips are the parts. Now, what is the implication of this integral? If the implication of this integral simply means if you put it in the Cartesian coordinate system, this is how it appears. Look here. This is how it appears. So if you say this is the y-axis, of course, that is the x-axis. So if this is our function, you can see this function is in terms of theta, isn't it? So if it is in terms of theta, remember when it was in terms of x, you say y is a function of x, isn't it? But now it is in terms of theta, in terms of theta, meaning y is a function of, are you seeing that? So if this is your curve, you've been told your curve here is the curve y, a function of theta. And that function of theta is 2 over that. Because when you are integrating f of x dx, meaning that is a function of x. So it means when we are integrating f of theta d theta, because instead of x we are now having theta. Are we together? Meaning we are integrating f of theta d. For you to get the areas, you are integrating the function f of x dx, isn't it? But now our function is not x, our function is theta, meaning we are integrating f of theta d theta. Meaning if you remove the theta, everything which is left there is the function of theta. Are you getting the idea? Everything which is left there is the function of. So what is the function of theta here, if y is the function of theta? It means the function of theta is 2 over 4th root of 5 minus 3 over 8 cos cube theta. Because you are supposed to integrate f of x dx if y is a function of x. But instead of y being a function of x, y is a function of theta. Meaning we are integrating f of theta d theta. Meaning this 2 over this, the whole of it is f of theta. Are you seeing that? Are we together? Meaning if you remove the theta there, the whole of this is times d theta. Meaning the whole of this is the function of theta. 2 over 4th root of 5 minus 3 over 8 cos cubed theta. Are we together? That is the function of theta. And we've been told to divide into how many strips? 4 parts. Are we together? You divide it into 4 parts. So if I don't go into that details, look at this. For you to divide it into 4 parts, it means this. The whole range here, the whole interval here, look here. The whole interval here is starting from 0 and it is ending at, isn't it? So what is the whole range from 0 to pi? So it is pi minus 0. Meaning for you to divide it into 4 parts, you divide it into 4 parts. Meaning we have how many edge? See, for edge, each and every part has its own interval, isn't it? Are we together? So what is edge? See, h is pi minus 0, the whole of this interval from here to here is pi minus 0, which you get is pi, isn't it? So this pi, you divide into 4 parts, meaning h is pi over, are we together? H is pi over 4. Now look here, if h is pi over 4, so where there is h, put the value of h, where there is h, each and every part, h we found is pi over 4, pi over 4, pi over 4. Pi over 4, because it is the whole range. Pi minus 0 gives you the whole range pi. Then you divide it into 4 parts, meaning divide by 4. Each and every part is going to be pi over 4. So if here is 0, if the x value here is 0, 0 plus pi over 4, meaning the next value here will be pi over. Are you seeing what is happening? Then pi over 4 plus pi over 4, the next value here will be. Are you seeing that? It is just like saying like this. If you have a y and xy coordinate system, xy. So if here is 0 and here is 1, 2, 3, 4. See, this means the intervals here, each and all of them as an interval of 1. See, that is what it means. And this interval of 1 is the h, the interval, isn't it? See, it is 0 plus 1 gives you this value 1. 1 plus 1 gives you this value 2. 2 plus the interval gives you the value 3. 3 plus the interval gives you the value 4. So if we found the interval h, to be pi over 4, the x values, the first one start from 0. Are we together? So this one is 0 plus pi over 4 gives you the next value, which is pi over. Is that okay? Okay? Yes. Then pi over 4 plus pi over 4 you get? Pi over 2. Use the calculator. Pi over 2 plus pi over 4 you get? 3 over 4 pi. That is here. So 3 over 4 pi plus pi over 4 you get the last part, which is pi. Are we together? So you found the x values or the theta values because instead of x we are using theta. You found the theta value. So if you form a table like this, this your table must have the title, then the 4 parts, because you've been told 4 strips, 4 parts, isn't it? Then you put the 4 parts. So the first part, second part, third part, fourth part. Now, see the reason why you are doing that. When you are getting the area with Simpson's rule is a third edge, isn't it? The area with Simpson's rule is a third edge. Then into, you add the first and the last, isn't it? See, the first is h, y naught. Then the last is yn. And what is your yn here? If there are 4 parts, meaning y3, because you are starting from y0, meaning the 4th part will be y3. See, you are told to use 4 strips. See, 4 strips, the number of strips is how many ordinates? The number of that it is going to be y4. Sendio. 4 strips means y4. The number of strips means you have 5 ordinates, isn't it? Sendio. Since trapezoidal rule, the number of ordinates is greater than the number of strips by 1. So it means 4 strips means 5 ordinates. So 5 ordinates meaning the 5th ordinate is going to be y4. For Sendio. The first ordinate is y0. Are you seeing that? Yeah. So 4 strips means 5 ordinates. y0, y1, y2, y3, y4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 ordinates, isn't it? So which one is the first? The first is y0, the last is y4. So it is y0 plus y4. Then 2y is there, the evens, isn't it? y2, because you can see 2 by 2 is 4, the way you were saying. Sendio, 2y is the evens. So if you pick this and this, how many evens are left? See, only y2. So it is 2y is the evens plus 4 times the odds, isn't it? 4 times the odds. How many odds are left here? We've now selected that. How many odds are left? y1 and y. 4 times y1 plus y3. So you can see 4 times 1 is 4, 2 times 2 is 4. That is the criteria of mastering it, isn't it? Are we together? So it means this is the Simpson's rule we are using. So when we are using this, it means we need to get h and then the ordinates y's. Okay? We need to get h and the y. So what is h? We said h is the upper limit minus the lower limit. Upper limit minus the lower limit. Then we divide it into how many equal parts? 4 equal parts. 4 strips. So pi minus 0 is just pi over 4. So it means our h is pi over. Are we together? Our h is pi over 4. Now, when you are dealing with the pi over 4, what does that imply? That is now, there is now where I want you to pay key attention. When you are dealing with the pi over 4, ladies and gentlemen, it means your calculator must be in pi radians, because when you are going to put cos of that, it is supposed to be in pi radians. When you are dealing with the calculator being in D, it means we are dealing with the degrees, and there are no degrees here. Are you getting that? So if you are calculating in D and you are doing this, then you are automatically getting it wrong. Unaelewa hapo? Because see, these values are in pi radians. Meaning for you to deal with these values, the calculator must be in R for pi radians. When your calculator is in D and you are dealing with these values, then you are getting them wrong. Are you getting that point? So can you remove your calculator in D and put it in R? because we are dealing with the pi radians. Put it in R. What do you get? So, your calculator is now in pi radians, isn't it? So now start here. Remember, when you have y to be a function of x, meaning the x values will give you the y, isn't it? Sindio? Y is a function of x. So here it means when y is a function of x, this is y being a function of theta, was given by this. Now look at this. If y is a function of theta, what have you found? You found 2 over 4th root of 5 minus 3 over 8 cos cubed theta. So if this theta was x, what were we going to have? So we were going to have, where there is theta you put x. See, if theta was x, this is what we were going to have. Because you are used to dealing with x, isn't it? If it was x, this is what we were going to have. Meaning y is equal to that, isn't it? Meaning if you have an x value, you get a y value, isn't it? You see the limits are from x, meaning you are starting from x naught is 0, isn't it? And you are ending at the x4 to be, because 4 strips, meaning the last one is x4. See here? From x0 to x4, see those are 5 coordinates. Are we together? Yeah? So here, it means here we have what? We have the x values which are our theta. I'm using x to explain, okay? But you know we are dealing with theta, but I'm using x, is easier to explain with x, okay? Is that understood? Yes. So where there is theta, I'm using the x to explain. So here you will have the x values and the y values. The x values and the y values, okay? So, start with this first one. So here if it is xi and yi, so when I is 0, it means x naught, isn't it? See, it is the xi's and yi. When I is 0, the first value here is, when I is equals to 0, meaning this value is x naught, isn't it? You don't even have to put that. You can even put inside here x naught is equals to. See there? Then here x1 is equals to what? Then here x2, I'm using this for explanation, but at the end you'll see what it means, okay? Then here x3 is equals to, then the last one is x4 is equals to what? Then x0 is the start of the interval. You'll be told is what? Is 0. And imagine on top here you have your edge. Your edge you found to be pi over. What is pi over 4? Because there's pi over 4 in the calculator. You were told 6. You were told how many decimal places? 6 decimal places. So can you fix the calculator to 6 decimal places? You go to mode, then fix, then you select 6 decimal places. Fix the calculator to 6 decimal places. You want to move stepwise. You were told to give your answer in 6 decimal places. You've already placed that. So what is pi over 4? There is pi over 4 in the calculator. That is the value of edge. There is pi in the calculator. Press pi, then divide by 4. What it is value? Because pi is 3.142 something, isn't it? If you divide by 4, what is pi over 4? 0.785398. Because you are told 6 decimal places. So we want everything to be 6 decimal places, isn't it? So we found edge to be 0.785098. So x0 is where you are starting from 0. So x0 plus edge gives you x1. Are you seeing that? So can you press in the calculator 0 is equals to 0? Then now, that will now be answer. Your edge, that will now be answer plus edge. So just press 0 is equals to 0. So 0 is your answer, isn't it? Isn't it? So answer plus edge value, answer plus 0.785398. What do you get? 0 plus edge gives you the next value, isn't it? Which is 0.785398. Then when you press equal sign, it gives you the next value because you said answer plus, isn't it? Meaning 0.78 plus edge gives you the next value. Meaning you just press equal sign to see the next value on the spot, isn't it? Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Because that interval is the same, isn't it? Are we together? Yes. Yes. This is what I'm saying. The first value here, x naught, we've been told to start from 0, so we place the 0 there, isn't it? So this is the interval. It is like this. From here we are starting at 0. For us, the interval h, it is 0 plus h to give you this next value. Are you seeing? Senor? So 0 plus h and this h, you've already found it to be 0.785398. Meaning 0 plus this, you get this. These intervals are the same. This h value is the same for everything. Are you seeing that? Then now what you get here plus this gives you this, isn't it? What you get here plus that h gives you this, isn't it? So I'm starting from 0, I say 0 is equals to 0, already 6 decimal places, isn't it? Then plus h to give me the next one. What is h? 0.785398. So I have 0 is equals to 0, then now it is answer plus, isn't it? Because 0 is now the answer, isn't it? So answer plus h, what do you have? Plus 0.98785398. Answer plus h, I get 0.785398. Then now when I press equals to again, I get the next value on the spot. Are you seeing that? So the next value I'm getting 1.57079. If I press equal sign again, I get the next value. Are you seeing that? Which is 2.356194. When I press equal sign again, I get the next value. Are you seeing that? Which is 3.14159.2. So you can see 0 plus h gives you this. This plus h gives you the next interval, or the next, gives you not interval, gives you the next ordinate, isn't it? Then 1 point that plus the value of h gives you the next ordinate. The next ordinate plus h gives you the next ordinate. Are we together? We are done with the x, and we are not interested in the x, we are interested in the y's, because y's is what is in the formula. Are you seeing that? We are interested in that? In the y's. Are we together? So let us start, what is y naught? Then you go, if this is the formula relating x and y, because where there is theta, we substituted with x to make your work easier. Meaning in the end, where there is x, you just change to theta, 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 theta. But I'm dealing with x because it is easier to see them with x, isn't it? Are we together? So start with y naught, meaning if you put naught here, you put naught there. Meaning y naught will be 2 over 4th root, meaning you put this formula in the calculator. Where there is x naught, here is now is what you are substituting. This is your x naught is your answer because it is the value of x naught you are substituting, isn't it? Are we together? So what is the first value of x naught? 0. So this is what you do, what she has done here. The first value of x naught is 0 is equals to 0. So what do we want? I want y naught, isn't it? It is, you put fraction, it is 2 over what? 4th root. Where do you get this 4th root? You shift, isn't it? Then you put 4th root, you shift, not 4 into square root. The square you key in the 4th root. I saw somebody doing 4 into square root somewhere. You shift, isn't it? Then you put 4th root, then inside it, what do you put? 5 minus 3 over 8, then you move forward, cos is raised to power. See there's here where you put raised to power. Now, how do you put cos raised to power 3? That's where the problem comes, isn't it? Because the calculator will just take cos in bracket on the spot, isn't it? So this cos raised to power 3, this is how you are going to put it. It is y naught is 2 over 4th root of 5 minus 3 over 8, then a big bracket, cos answer all raised to power 3, because this is the short form. Are you seeing? See, this is the short form of writing cos cubed answer. Meaning you must put a whole bracket outside. That is where the problem normally arises. Are we together? Tuko pamoja? Meaning if somebody gives you cos cubed x, that is the same as cos x, which has been cubed. Because cos cubed x you cannot press in the calculator. So for you to press in the calculator, you must put the whole of it in bracket, then you take the cube outside. Are you seeing that? So it means in the calculator, this is what we are going to express to represent this. Cos cubed answer is the same as cos answer the whole of it cubed. So it is minus 3 over 8. Then you start with open bracket before you write cos, isn't it? Open bracket, then you put cos answer. cos answer, then you close two brackets, then you raise it to power 3. Now, tell me, why am I closing two brackets? I'm closing two brackets because if you don't close two brackets, it means you cube the answer. Look at this. Look at this. I want you to be very attentive in what I'm doing. Look at this. When you have cos, whether you started with this, when you have cos, then you have your answer like that. If you close like this and put cube, see, it means you cubed answer. And you are not supposed to be cubing that, you're supposed to be cubing cos, isn't it? Are we together? Meaning there must be two brackets. This one bracket is for the inner one, but this other one is now closing where you started. Are you seeing? The cube is supposed to be outside the second bracket because it is the second bracket which is for the outer one. But this first bracket is for the inner one, meaning if you put the cube there, you've cubed the answer, which is wrong, but it was supposed to be cubed. Are you seeing that? Are you seeing that? Yes. So you must close two brackets, isn't it? One bracket for the inner one, then the outer one is for the bracket which you started with, isn't it? So if you put cubed outside, it means you cubed cos. But if you put cube here, it means you cubed the value of x, isn't it? Good. So minus cos answer cube. Then what do you get? To be y naught. I'm seeing 1.363804. Then remember, when you know, don't press equal sign, no, because the next value is different. The first one is different, isn't it? When you press equal signs again, it's like you are substituting y to the answer, but you should not be substituting y. You should be substituting x1, isn't it? Then now, the formula remains. You don't press an on button. No, you can just press maybe an AC button to minimize the formula, isn't it? Then you put the value of x1. What is x1? 0.785398 is equals to, that is the value of x1. Then you replay the calculator. You see there are these 4 buttons for replay. You replay with this upper button. If you replay, it displays back the formula, isn't it? When it displays back the formula, if you press equal sign, it will now be giving you the answer for x1. Are you seeing that? Are we together? So what have you found? So if this is x1, meaning what you found is y1, isn't it? So y1 is 1.3466497. Are we together? You are done. Then what do? You press a C button to minimize the formula. If you press an on button, you've reset the formula. The formula has disappeared. You don't press an on button. The AC button is what minimizes the formula on the screen. Are we together? Then you come back. When x is 1.57000796, that is the value of x. Because it's the x value we are substituting. Have you seen that? So x value is that is equals to what? 1.570796 is equals to that. Severe. Then you replay with this upper button to get back that formula, isn't it? When I replay the upper button, see the formula comes back. When I press the equal sign, I get the answer for that. Are we together? So what is the answer for that? If this is x2, that is y2. What do I get to be the answer for that? Here I'm seeing 1.337481. Are we together? You move to the next one. You press a C button to minimize the formula. Okay? Then you start, put the value of x3 because it is the value of x which should be here, not y. If you press equal sign, it means you substitute the value of y here. See here? And it is the x value you should be substituting, isn't it? So you minimize the screen. Are we together? Good. So can you put that value x3? I've minimized the screen. Put the value. So x3 is equals to that, then you replay the calculator, isn't it? What do you have? 1.32. If this is x3, meaning it is giving you y3, isn't it? It is 1.328875.8. Are we together? Then Press AC button to minimize the formula and then key in the value of x4. The value of x4 is 1. Or you've already replayed. So you have 1.31, 3516. Have you seen how to get those values? So after you found the y values are our point of interest in the formula. So we come and substitute there. So we go, area is equals to a third times h. What was your h? No, your h you already by over 4, you found it to be 0.7. See, pi was 3.14 something. If you divide it by 4, you got 0.7. 5398. Then you open the bracket. Then now deal with each and every bracket as you put its value. This is what is outside a third times that. Inside, y0 plus y4. Take a calculator and add y0 plus y4. Then you put the value here. So can you add for me y0 plus y4? 1.363804 plus 1.313516. What do you get? What do you get? 2.67 732 See that one you are done with y0 plus y4, you are done with this smaller bracket, isn't it? 3 or 2.67732 like that. So you are done with this. Then the next one, see this one, 2 times y2. Multiply for me that 2 times y2. 2 times 1.337481. What do you get? 2 times y2. 2 times the value of y2 is here. What do you have? You have 2.49662. Then plus this last part. Start by adding y1 plus y3 is when you multiply by 4, isn't it? Start by what is in the bracket, y1 plus y3. y1 is here plus y3. What do you get? After getting y1 plus 3, then you multiply it 4 times, isn't it? Are we together? So start with inside the bracket, y1 plus y3, what do you get? If you have a calculator which can do it at once, you just get 4, then you open bracket, isn't it? Yeah, so 4 into inside bracket y1 plus y3, what do we have? 8 point or 9 point? It is 10. 10 point? 10.7? 0? 1? 102? Like that, isn't it? So now, what is now the whole area? Can you now give me the area? Start by working, add what is inside the bracket first. So that what bracket is one thing. If you have a calculator which can feed the whole of it, feeds the whole of it. A third times what is outside, then you open bracket, then you add, you close inside the bracket. You can do it at once or you can do it in parts depending on how you feel comfortable. So a third times 0.785398, then open bracket, then key in what's inside the bracket and you close bracket. What we were trying to avoid are these smaller brackets inside so that you don't confuse, isn't it? Are we together? What do you have? If you add the whole of this, a third times this, open bracket and add the 3 inside the bracket, you have 4.2, 4.20, 7, 4.2027, 2744. So that is the area to 4 decimal places. Are we together? To 6 decimal places. So it means where there is theta, we were putting x. So it means when you wrote them with pencils, you will just be changing x to theta because it is easier to work with x value, but we were given theta. Sergio? it is easier to work with x value so that when you convert them, your x's now becomes theta according to the equation. Are you seeing that? Are we together? But for the concept, for you to digest the concept fully, it is easier to deal with x and y, x to give you y, for the xy ordinate system, isn't it? So when you see theta, your theta becomes x, okay? Good. So that is how to handle that problem. So one thing you've noted is that when it is in pi radians, the calculator must be in R. You must remove the calculator in degrees because there are no degrees here, okay? Are we together? That is the first thing. The second thing, you have to know how many strips are you dealing with. Then 4 strips will now help you to get the value of h, the interval of each and every strip, meaning you divide by the number of strips, isn't it? Once you found h, it is the first x value plus h to give you the next x value, the next ordinate, isn't it? Plus h to give you the next ordinate, plus h to give you the next x ordinate. Then this x ordinates is which will give you the corresponding y ordinates, isn't it? Because the Cartesian coordinate system, x naught is going with y naught, that point. x1, y1, each and every point are coordinate system, isn't it? Meaning when you have x naught, you get its corresponding y naught from the relationship between x and y, which is the formula, the function. Are we together? Are we together? Good. So that is how to handle such cases when you see such cases.